Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we are going to be reviewing the Dalek invasion of Earth with the First Doctor. Now this will be a review of just the story as a whole. I've already done episodic reviews for each individual episode. This was my first time watching this story. One of my subscribers sent it to me. Adrian, I believe, sent me this one. Yes, my mind went blank. I've had several things come in the mail recently, which is insane. That boggles my mind. But Adrian sent me this one, and I really appreciate it. It was nice to be able to see it for the first time. But I really enjoyed it. For the most part, episodes 1, 2, and 3 were really good. Really, really good. Episode 4, it's very obvious Hartnell's not there in episode 4. Whether he was sick, whether he was on holiday, I don't know. But it's painfully obvious. The episode kind of feels like filler. It does kind of drag the story down a bit and doesn't really need to be there. Episode 5, about the first 5 or 6 minutes of it, are choreographed terribly. Terribly. But the episode gets progressively better and has a lot of really good moments. And then episode 6 is really good. It flies by. It wraps up everything. A little too Deus Machina-like. It wraps up a little too easily. But it does kind of make sense in context with the Daleks. And then the nice little extended ending with Susan's departure is really well handled. Hartnell is great in this story. I think it's one of the things about episode 4 that kind of hurts it. Plus, he's not really in episode 3 a lot. It kind of hurts when he's not there because he's really good in this story. I really enjoy this. He has a lot of really good moments in it. Not just his speech to Susan. His whole little end scene with Susan there. Not just the actual speech itself, but the whole part when he's talking about, I want you to belong somewhere. I want you to make roots, to have roots. That's all really, really good. The fact he does lock her out of the TARDIS and double locks the TARDIS is really neat. I really, I like the fact that in episode 6, Barbara knows that's a hard moment for Susan, so she kind of, just points that she's going to the TARDIS and hey, she points to Ian and is like, hey, we need to go in here. They need a moment. That's good. Barbara picked up on that. I like that. Ian is really good in this too. I really like William Russell in this. He does kind of have that take charge attitude, getting things done. I like when he's talking to the one guy about getting passage back to the city, and the guy's like, well, we take, rare minerals and stuff, and Ian's just like, yeah, I don't have any of that, but I still need to get there. He's not backing down. He's not flinching, not blinking. I really enjoyed that. I really liked the little creature you hear in episode 4 in the background a lot. I think it's episode 4. It has that weird howl that you hear a lot, and it's built up as this dangerous thing. And when we finally see it, I like how well it's realized on screen, because I'm looking at it going, I can't tell if that's like animal, plant. It looks totally like something that doesn't come from Earth, which I like. Too many times in Doctor Who, especially in modern Who, the aliens are just animals from Earth, but bigger and walk on 2 legs, Vincent and the Doctor does this, the Jadoon does this. We see this far too often. So I like that it looks totally alien, what little bit we get to see of it. I don't like that it kind of gets killed off really easily at the beginning of episode 5 when Ian just kind of barely taps it with a rock, it looks like. And then I'm assuming it falls out of the cart. It's hard to tell because the camera work there is really wonky. So I hate that it kind of gets killed really easy because it's built up to be this really dangerous thing in episode 4. And that's a really good cliffhanger in episode 4 I really like. I like that the guy with the gun, shooting it still gets him, but Ian stops it with a rock. But I really like the creature. I thought it was realized well. Susan has some of her Susan moments in it that are irksome, like when she hurts her ankle because she falls, and I'm just sitting here like, yep, that's Susan. And then there's the part where she's on the ladder, and the ladder gives way, and she's just, and I'm like, yep, that's Susan. Barbara's good, though. I like, especially a good portion of this story, our heroes are separated. Barbara is working in the Resistance, her and Susan for a little while, and then just Barbara herself is either with the Resistance, and then they're with the guy in the wheelchair, and then she's with just the other woman that's with her. She's got that going on. Ian, a lot of times, is with the other guy who's looking for his brother for a good chunk of the story, doing his own thing. And then the Doctor is not there for part of the story, although that's detrimental to the story. But when he's not, he's usually with Susan. I think they do a good job of building Susan and David's relationship up really well, seeing it gradually grow, like when they almost kiss one time, and then you do see them starting to kiss right before the Doctor shows up another time. And they seem really playful with each other. They have a nice little rapport and banter that I really like. So I totally buy it when she wants to stay with him. I enjoyed that. I like the guy that I keep assuming looks just like the guy who plays the one good miner in Colony in Space, except for he doesn't have the mustache in this. I like his character a lot, his resistant fighter character, who's in, all of the story. I like him. The guy in the wheelchair is cool, what little bit we get of him. I kept thinking he was going to be a traitor. I don't know why, but in the back of my mind, I kept expecting him to turn out to be working for the Daleks. I was totally wrong. He totally was not a traitor, and then he went out trying to test his bomb theory on it. I like the fact he stood the Daleks down. He stared them down, dude. He just rolled out, "Daleks, where are you?" I like that. I like the fact he went out on his own terms. That's pretty cool. The Dalek voices are kind of in it. I did adjust to them, but they're definitely not as good as what we would get later. But again, it's the second story. It's still early days, so I get it. The Daleks themselves are fine in it. I like that they have that thick bumper on the bottom. Really makes their Daleks easy to tell apart. And then they got the little disc on their back so they can run around on the ground. I like the fact they wrote into the story why they're able to run on the ground now, and that they have the disc on the back for that. And the fact that the story addresses that. I like Hartnell's speech at the beginning. Like in the beginning of episode 2 when he's talking to the Dalek. Conquer the Earth, you would first have to eliminate every living thing on the Earth. His whole little bit there when he talks to the Daleks is really good. The shot of the Dalek coming out of the water at the end of episode 1. I'm not quite sure why the Dalek was in the water. That's one of those things it's best not to think about too much, I think. But it is such an iconic shot just to see it roll up out of the water. That had to be cool, when it first aired. Holy crap, the Daleks are back, because the Daleks were so huge back then, Dalek Mania. So that had to be cool seeing that, in 1964, I'm guessing. That's pretty neat. So yeah, I enjoyed the story. It's a little long. I think episode 4 was very unnecessary, and then I have some issues with the first few minutes of episode 5, where it just looks like the director was sick for those shots, and they pulled off a hobo off the street to direct it. But other than that, I thought it was a really good story. I really enjoyed it. And I really liked the final episode. It flew by. And it wrapped everything up pretty well. And I thought it was a really good departure for Susan. Definitely one of the better 60s departures, I think. So I liked it. So the Dalek Invasion of Earth, as a whole, what do you think of this story? Comment down below and let me know, because I always enjoy hearing from you guys. Other things to do. Click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me on that. There is a link to that down in the description below. I want to give a special shout out to 2 of my top tier patrons, the 5th Doctor and Stephen Crane. I appreciate their continued support and the support of all of my patrons. I also have a P.O. box. If there's anything you would like to send me, that's down in the description as well. This DVD was a gift from one of my subscribers, Adrian, so I really appreciate him sending that to me. I also have a link to my Amazon wish list down in the description as well. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.